These are 1991 country songs we'll never forget. And stick around, and because the #1 song, it came with thunder, lightning, and a fire that's still burning.
I start walking your way, you start walking mine. So don't rock the jukebox, play me a country song.
She's in love with the boy.
15. Diamond Rio. Meet in the Middle.
We meet in the middle.
Diamond. Rio kicked off the decade with the harmony-rich anthem that hit straight to the heart and the top of the charts. Meet in the Middle wasn't just their debut single. It was the first time in country history a debut single by a band went to #1. With its sweet message of compromise and love and its jangly, upbeat sound, it felt fresh and familiar all at once.
I was gonna bring you diamonds.
This wasn't the outlaw country of the 70s. It was clean, catchy, and made for the radio. And speaking of radio gold, up next is a ballad that made every dad cry and every bar crowd go silent. 14. Billy Dean. Somewhere in My Broken Heart.
Somewhere in my broken.
Poetic, emotional, and absolutely devastating. Somewhere in My Broken Heart was the kind of song that slowed time. Billy Dean's smooth voice carried the ache of lost love with such sincerity that even folks who weren't heartbroken suddenly missed someone. The track didn't try to be flashy. It just told the truth beautifully. It earned Dean the Academy of Country Music's top new male vocalist award and cemented him as a soulful storyteller.
The song of the year is Somewhere in My Broken Heart.
But next, we go from soft tears to steel nerves and a quarter in the jukebox. 13. Travis Tritt. Here's a quarter. Call someone who cares.
Well, here's a quarter. Call someone who cares.
A breakup song disguised as a mic drop. Travis Tritt's Here's a Quarter hit different, full of attitude, defiance, and that gritty southern rock edge that made him a standout. The title alone became a punchline across the country, but the song was no joke. It climbed fast and turned Tritt into a star. With leather jackets and electric guitar swagger, Tritt proved country didn't need to be polite to be powerful.
Here's a quarter. Call someone who cares.
And now, get ready for a love story told in 2 chords and 1 unforgettable hook. On a Kinchie, Alan Jackson. Don't rock the jukebox.
So don't rock the jukebox, play me a country song.
This wasn't just a song. It was a mission statement. With Don't Rock the Jukebox, Alan Jackson planted his boots firmly in the roots of classic honky-tonk. It was twangy, cheeky, and full of attitude, a sharp response to the growing pop influence in country. The message: I'm hurting. I want George Jones, not rock and roll. Fans loved it. DJs spun it nonstop, and Jackson became one of the genre's most trusted torchbearers. And now, from jukeboxes to heartbreak hotels,
Don't rock the jukebox, play me a country song.
here comes a story of broken dreams and revenge that cuts like a knife. It's wisdom. 11. Tanya Tucker. Down to My Last Teardrop.
Baby, I'm down to my last teardrop this time.
Tanya Tucker came roaring into 1991 with fire. Down to My Last Teardrop was a classic Done Me Wrong anthem. Only this time, she wasn't begging him to stay. She was done. The song was loud, confident, and built on years of heartbreak turned into strength. It peaked at #2, and proved Tucker still had the firepower to rule the airwaves nearly 20 years after her debut. And speaking of bold female voices, the next entry is a debut that hit #1 and introduced the world to a new kind of country queen. The 10. Trisha Yearwood. She's in love with the boy.
She's in love with the boy.
Boom. A debut single that went straight to #1. Trisha Yearwood's She's in Love with the Boy was fresh, fun, and fiercely independent. It told the story of a young couple defying small-town judgment. And it resonated everywhere. Trisha's vocals were crisp and powerful, with just enough sass to make it unforgettable. It marked the beginning of a huge career and proved that strong storytelling and strong women were back on top. Next up, a cowboy who crossed over into pop fame with a song that brought tears and trophies. 9. Reba McIntyre. For My Broken Heart.
My broken heart.
After suffering unimaginable loss in a plane crash that killed most of her band, Reba McIntyre came back with grace and grit.
Things can happen in an instant to change your life.
For My Broken Heart wasn't just a song, it was a healing anthem. Her voice carried pain, poise, and quiet strength as she sang about moving on when your world falls apart.
Wouldn't go on without you.
The track topped the charts and anchored one of her most successful albums ever. In a year full of flash, Reba reminded everyone that real emotion still ruled country. And next, a man with a Telecaster, a mustache, and a hit that told every kid to just hang on tight. 8. Clint Black. Where Are You Now?
Where are you now?
Clint Black was already a star by '91, but Where Are You Now took him deeper. The song was smooth and aching, a mid-tempo heart-tugger about losing someone and never quite letting go. His voice was understated but rich, letting the lyrics breathe and the pain sit heavy. It wasn't as flashy as some of the year's bigger hits, and that's what made it timeless. And now, we shift gears to a voice that could melt steel, and a song that captured what growing older feels like. 7. Vince Gill. Look at Us.
We'll go down in history.
Slow, simple, stunning. Look at Us was Vince Gill's quiet masterpiece, a love letter to lasting commitment in a world of breakups. With that golden tenor voice and a steel guitar that cried right along with him, Gill made everyone stop and listen.
After all these years together.
The song became a wedding favorite, a radio staple, and one of the most beloved country ballads of the decade. It didn't shout, it whispered, and that made it unforgettable. But buckle up, because next comes the song that introduced the rowdiest new duo in town. 6. Brooks and Dunn. Brand New Man.
I'm born to love again. I'm a brand new man.
They came out of nowhere and took over everything. Brand New Man was Brooks and Dunn's debut single, and it exploded onto the charts like a shot of Tennessee whiskey. From the first riff to the final chorus, it was clear. This wasn't your daddy's country duo. Ronnie Dunn's powerhouse vocals met Kix Brooks' charisma, and together they created a perfect storm of honky-tonk and heart. The song hit #1 and kicked off one of the most successful duos in country history. And speaking of breaking charts and hearts,
Anything I've ever known, we're right on track.
the next artist put Louisiana soul into every line. 5. Mary Chapin Carpenter. Down at the Twist and Shout.
She's a dynamite performer. Here she is with her band and members of the group Beau Soleil, Mary Chapin Carpenter.
Lively, Louisiana-flavored, and impossible not to dance to. Down at the Twist and Shout was Mary Chapin Carpenter's high-energy tribute to Zydeco, Tex-Mex, and the joy of a southern night out.
Big dance floor and I hear that fiddle, wanna beg for more, wanna dance to a band from Louisiana tonight.
With accordion riffs and Cajun spirit, it stood out from everything else on the radio. The song earned Carpenter a Grammy and made her one of the most unique and exciting voices of the era. And now, get ready for the deep drawl and teary eyes of a man who turned grief into gold. 4. Doug Stone. I'd be better off in a pine box. You read that right. Doug Stone didn't sugarcoat a thing. This was pure country pain. I'd Be Better Off in a Pine Box was his debut single, and it was devastating. With a voice soaked in sorrow, Stone sang of betrayal, loss, and the kind of heartbreak that doesn't go away. It hit hard, climbed fast, and announced Stone as a new torchbearer for old school emotional truth. Now, ready for the top 3? Because up next is the cowboy who broke the rules, broke the records, and then broke the internet before the internet even existed. 3. Ricky Van Shelton. Keep It Between the Lines. Right in the heart. Keep It Between the Lines told the story of a father teaching his young son to steer, while quietly learning life's deeper lessons himself. It was tender, uplifting, and vintage Ricky Van Shelton. Smooth vocals, strong message, and a melody that stuck like glue. The song shot to #1 and became one of Shelton's last big chart toppers. But what a way to go out. And now, speaking of father figures, here comes the cowboy who sold out stadiums and rewrote country forever. 2. Garth Brooks. The Thunder Rolls.
The storm blows on out of control.
A storm, a scandal, a superstar. The Thunder Rolls wasn't just a hit, it was a cinematic gut punch wrapped in lightning. Garth Brooks told the story of betrayal and revenge with a chilling calm, backed by thunderclaps and roaring guitars. When the controversial third verse about domestic violence was cut from the radio version, it only made the song bigger. The music video, banned by some stations, turned Garth into a mythic figure. It was country music with arena power, and the only one who could outshine it in 1991 was Garth again. First, Garth Brooks. Shameless. That voice, that vulnerability, that explosion of passion. Shameless took a Billy Joel song and turned it into one of the most powerful love anthems country radio had ever heard.
For a man who's strong to say he's sorry or admit when he's wrong.
Garth didn't just cover the track, he owned it. It was soaring, emotional, and filled with the kind of fearless romance that only Brooks could sell to both cowboys and suburban moms. It topped the charts and solidified 1991 as the year Garth took over everything. He wasn't just a star, he was a movement. 1991 proved one thing: country music was done playing small. From jukebox ballads to stadium anthems, this was the year cowboy hats went global. These 15 songs didn't just fill the charts, they redefined the genre. Which one still gives you chills? Drop your favorite in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. Because next, we're heading into 2003, country songs we'll never forget. When Toby Keith dropped bombs The Dixie Chicks fought back, and country went to war. You won't want to miss it.